Yeah, so welcome to the profit and loss section part 2. So now here we start with the question number 1, which is again, as I said, right? I'm not repeating that, but let me read the question for you. By selling 33 meters of the cloth, a shopkeeper gains a selling price of 11 meters of the cloth. Find his gain percentage. So now, first thing that we need to understand here is that, like, okay, selling price of 33 meters of cloth will be equals to this. Okay, will not be equals to, but profit on this one will be equal to selling price of 11 meters of the cloth. So, but do we know how much is the cloth sold for? How much is each meter of cloth sold for? We do not know that. So we don't know the cost price. We don't even know the selling price. So what did we do in the previous problem? If you remember, when the profit of the 33 meters of cloth was considered on the cost price, we considered the cost price. We assumed that let us say cost price is equal to 1 rupee. That's the reason we said okay, cost price of 11 meters would be 11 rupees. In that way, we had proceeded. But here in this case, we have no involvement of cost price whatsoever. So what you can do here is you can straight away consider the selling price. I mean, you can assume the selling price as any of the amount. So let's say if your selling price per each meter is 1 rupee, then selling price of 11 meters would be, okay, let us say if you assume selling price of each meter of cloth will be 1 rupee, then for 11 meters it will obviously be what? 11 rupees. But he says that selling for 33 meters of the cloth is going to gain selling price of 11 meters. Actually, it should have been what if you consider this way, the selling price of 33 meters should be how much? It should be 33 rupees. Okay, but out of this 33 rupees, 11 rupees is the profit because the selling price of 11 meters is 11 rupees. Yeah, 11 rupees is profit. Now, then you got the cost price, which is equals to 22, and the selling price is equals to 33. Sorry, selling price is equals to 33, and the profit that is made is 11. Now, you have to find out what? You have to find out the profit percentage. Obviously, you know what is profit percentage? Again, profit is always calculated on the cost price, P by CP. That is 11 to 22, which is 1 by 2, which is equals to 50%. Now, do we have the options here, 50% anywhere? No. So we go with the option D, none. Are you all clear, students? Yesterday, I mean, this is not a very new question, so that's the reason I've done it in a very short way. But we had discussed in a very precise manner yesterday, discussing on how and why do we consider whatever we considered. Okay. All right. Vishnu, I'll repeat it once. So just give me a minute here. Yeah. So Vishnu, according to the question, profit on selling price of 33 meters of cloth should be equal to the selling price of 11 meters. So, but now we are saying, okay, we don't know how much is each meter sold for. We do not know that. Let us say each meter is sold for 11 rupees. I mean, each meter is sold for 1 rupee. That means 11 meters should be sold at 11 rupees. Now, this is including the profit. Now, you need to understand something. Selling price is always including the profit. That is cost price plus profit. Okay. In this case, if it is a loss, it is loss. Yeah. In this case, so out of this 11 rupees, we do not know how much is the profit, but we know that okay, if 33 meters of the cloth is sold, then the selling price of 11 meters will definitely be a profit. We know that. So that's the reason we have written okay, profit on selling price of 33 meters will be equals to selling price of 11 meters. That's the reason. Okay, selling price of 33 meters is how much? 33 rupees, according to what our assumption is. But if you do this one, so profit on this 33 rupees is equals to 11 rupees. Why 11 rupees? Because that is the price of selling price of 11 meters of the cloth. Then that means, okay, you have the selling price 33, you have the profit that is 11. Okay, then how much is the cost price? How much is the cost price in that case? Cost price of 33 meters. You got that 33 meters for how much? Your selling price minus the profit, right? Selling price and you have it as 33. How much is the profit? You have it as 11. So that's the reason your cost price will be this one. And then you are trying to calculate the profit percentage. How will you calculate the profit percentage? Always profit is calculated on selling on the cost price unless it is mentioned in the question. In the question, if it asks that, okay, the profit is calculated on selling price, only then you will consider profit percentage equals to P by SP. Else, you will always go with the same part. All right, Vishnu, got it? Fine. I hope and wish everyone else also had understood this one. So I'll be moving on to the next question. Is that okay, everyone? Thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Tesvi and Ritika Ramu for that. Chalo. So with the next question, here we are. A new question completely. Here we are. Then let us go ahead and solve this part. A merchant gets rupees 500 if he sells either item A at 15% gain and item B at 10% loss, or item A at 15% loss and item B at 10% gain. Okay, there is a dual part here. There's dual thing that's happening. So in case one, I'll just write the data from the question and then we'll proceed. Okay. In case one, A sold at 15% profit, B sold at 10% loss. Okay. And in case two, A sold at 15% loss and B sold at 10% gain. But in both the cases, the merchant gets 500. In both the cases, merchant gets 500. So this is what the question represents. Now, what is the cost price of item A? You need to find out how much does this one cost. Okay, that's the question, students. So remember what we had spoken of yesterday? Whenever you have the profit percentage or the cost percentage, it clearly gives you that okay, profit percentage is always calculated on P by CP. right? I told you something about the fractions yesterday. That means now here it is 15%, right? So how do you mention 15%? 15 by what? 15 by 100, right? That means if the cost price is 100, your profit is always 15 rupees. Students, observe this one, everyone. So profit percentage is always written as P by CP, right? That means what on the cost price you have some kind of profit. If you look at it in a very like objective way, that like usually what do you have? You have selling price equals to cost price plus profit. Okay. Now, when you write the profit percentage in this way, the denominator representing the cost price and the numerator representing the profit, that means you can determine what is SP from this part. That one assumption thing. It's not like a direct answer. It will be an equivalent answer and the equivalent selling price. Then you'll have to scale it up or down. So in this case, when you say the profit percentage is 15%, that is 15 by 100. That means what? If you sell the profit, if you are selling the product A, if the cost price of product A is 100, and then the profit is 15 rupees, that means what? Selling price will be 115. If it is 100, student, there's a clause. I'm saying if it is 100, the selling price is 115. Similarly, for the product B, okay, this is A, and for the product B, the loss percentage is equals to 10%. That means what? For every 100 rupees, if the product B is sold at rupees 100, the selling price is always 90. Selling price is always 90. This is the case one. Okay, this is the case one. Now let us consider the case two also. I'm just giving you the understanding here. This is not yet the solution, it's just the understanding you need to gain. So A is sold at loss of 15%, which means it is 15 by 100. That means what? If the product is costing 100 rupees, then the selling price will be how much? 15 less than 100, which is 85. In case B, the profit percentage is 10%. That means, I mean, in case two, B, item B, that means 10 by 100. That means selling price is how much? 110. Now you need to understand something. This is not the exact value. This could be scaled up or scaled down. It can be 115 into 1, 115 into 2, 115 into 1.5, 115 into 0.5. It can be anything. Similarly, similar thing goes with 90. Similar thing goes with 85. Similar thing goes with 110. These are not the exact. These are not the absolute values. These are relevant. Like these can be scaled up or down. Okay, that is just the idea I'm giving. Now it says the question says either way, like either in one or two, either way, he earns rupees 500. How can you say he earns rupees 500? That means like you need to add both I mean the addition or the sum of both the selling price is going to give you 500. That is what he's saying. Like both the selling price in the case, I mean this part, either here or here. Now can you please try to find out what is the cost price of A there? Please do it. Now this is the understanding you have got. Please do it. Friends, did you understand what we just spoke here? అర్థమైందా మాట్లాడింది? समझ में आया कुछ? I'll just give them numbers. So please do let me know. 1, 2, 3. Thank you Ramu for the information. सादिक तुम्हारे को समझ में आया कुछ भी? सही? आपको समझ में आया? Okay. Option A, Tejasvi. All right, that's one way. Okay, very good, very good. Now I'm not saying like I don't know if it is right or wrong, but you got an answer. As I said yesterday, fastest fingers first, right? Very good. Anyone else? Anyone else with the answer closer to option A or any other answer you have got for that? Please do solve it. Please do solve it, guys. Come on, warm up fast. I know. As soon as we started, we got into the questions, but still, please warm up once. So, are we any close? Anyone? You can do it in two different ways. All right. Even after this part, like even after this part, you can do it in two different ways. One thing is you can consider these two as equations and equate them. How do you do that? Just because here in this case, option A, Ganesh, very good. Even in this case, like if you consider, it says like okay 115, and you don't know what is the factor, right? So I'll just say A plus 90 dot B is equals to 500. Similarly, in this case, it is 85 dot A plus 110 dot B equals to 500. Okay. So in both the cases, both are equals to 500. So that now I'm saying like you can equate them. You can equate both the equations. That is like you can write 115 dot A plus 90 dot B is equals to 85 dot A plus 110 dot B. Now you can equate this from here. You can find out the values of either A or B, however it is possible, and then maybe you can come to a conclusion what it is. This is one way of doing it. Can you please solve this in this way? Uh, Ganesh, what did you do it in this way or what? Did you follow the same? What about you, Tejasvi? Okay, fine. So please do solve it in that way. Very good, Vishnu. Very good. Even that landed you to saying 200. Okay, very good. So this is one way of solving it. Any others still solving it? Are there people who are still solving it? Okay, now in this case, okay, you're saying that you got 200. Let us see if there's a way that we can reduce or we can look at a different understanding, because this part now here whatever we considered, now whatever we have considered over here is something similar to you saying, okay, let us say 100 rupees is the cost price, or just increase it on that, it becomes 115 rupees, so on and so forth. You consider in that way. This is similar to that. It's just that we have seen it from a different perspective. Until yesterday, what did we used to do? We said, okay, let us assume that cost price is equals to 100. Cost price is 100. Then if the profit percentage is 115, that means the selling price is obviously 115. This is what we considered. This is the same thing what we have done here, if you observe. That is the same thing what we have done here. Now do you understand why I say like you were or why we were considering cost price to be 100 and so on, and on that we were doing the calculations? ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైంది అందరికీ? అవి సమझ में आया सभी को? Why we were doing what we were doing yesterday? Students, are we clear? Thumbs up, thumbs down, yes, no, maybe? Yes? All right. क्या हुआ था सादिक? You're doing now? Okay, fine. So that's the reason we were doing it in that way. All right. Is there any other way of doing it? Yes. Did you all consider checking the options? Did you all consider option verification? Yes, that's also a method. You cannot omit or you cannot remove option verification from the list of the methods that you have for any kind of a question. So how do you do the option verification for this? How do you do the option verification for this? Let's say, okay, if the option A is like A is 200, that means how much is B for? B is 300. Now you are going to increase and decrease according to whatever the percentages that are given in the question. So if you increase A by 15%, that is 10% is 20, 15% is 30. So if you increase A by 15%, it will be 230. And if you decrease B by 10%, that is 300 minus 30, which will be 270. So 230 plus 270 will give you 500. Yes, that is true. Second case, A again is 200. So if what should happen is to decrease by 15%. So 200 minus 30 is how much? 170. 200 minus 30 is 170. And then 300 should be increased by 10% plus 330. Again is going to give you 500. Yeah. So that way you can do the option verification and also get it. Okay. So Vishnu, what will happen here in in either of the cases, what you can consider is that, okay, from here you can either check the value for A or you can check the value for B. Whatever you get like in terms of A's and B's, you can substitute it in this equation and try to find out the value of A or B. Or here you find something here after doing this after equating both of those. Let me change the ink. After equating both of those, what will happen is, okay, 115 minus 115 minus 80, 85 that you get as 30 dot A will be equals to 110 minus 90, that is 20 dot B. Okay, minus 20 dot B. Then you have it as A by B, the ratio is 2 by 3. A by B is the ratio is 2 by 3. Now come to the answers. Now check the answers. If A by B or A is to B, or like you now have it as A is to B is 2 is to 3. Now you can do it in this way. I'm saying like you can check it with A or B in terms of A or B and do it, or else you come to this wherein you say, okay, now I have the ratios of A and B. That is A is to B equals to 2 is to 3. That means what? You can scale it up, right? So A can be 20, B can be 30, or A can be 40, B can be 60. In that way, they're just the ratios part. Now, if you check the options, what are the options in which 2 is to 3 ratio can work? The first option, 200, 300. Second option, 250, 750. Is it working or no? Not 250, 750. It will be 250 and 375. Is it working or no? So you can check that. Okay, you can check that in that way. Vishnu. Multiple ways of solution, Vishnu. ఇక్కడ ఈ ఒకవేళ you are going to take it in terms of B or A, it is going to carry a bit of calculation there. అలా వద్దు అనుకుంటే ఆప్షన్ వెరిఫికేషన్ అది కూడా వద్దు ఇదే మెథడ్, కానీ ఇంకొక వే అంటే you can take the ratio part. You can say A is to B equals to 2 is to 3. So this could be 200 and this can be 300. And then verify. Okay. I hope that's clear with everyone. And then let's move on to the next question. So, students, just before starting this one, I want you to understand the profit percentage and the cost percentage. I mean, the loss percentage. Whenever you write it as P by CP or L by CP, that means you can straight away say, okay, what is the selling price from here? This is the cost price, this is profit. So selling price will always be equals to CP plus P. That's the reason we consider cost price equals to 100 every time. I hope that is clear. That was a learning from the previous question. I want you to carry that learning onto this question. So, the next one. A man sold two articles, rupees 10,000 each. On one, he got profit of 20% and loss of 20% on the other. His overall profit or loss percentage is what? Now, I hope this is something we were trying to have a discussion on in a different way. Remember yesterday I was saying percentage is a unidirectional part. Who was I telling it to? Who did I tell this one to? I was discussing this part as saying percentage is unidirectional. Vishnu, remember that you can apply it over here. Remember when I told you if you increase 100 by 20%, and when you say it is 120 and then immediately reduce it by 20%, it will not be equals to 100, but it will go back to 96. So percentages cannot be bidirectional. It's always a unidirectional part. Remember this, Vishnu? So our knowledge apply out. Try and do it. Yeah, 78. I wish you were right, but you are not. So please try and solve it. Consider the values. Do it on paper. Consider the values, and then please check it. 78. Once I would want you to check it. So now, if you say that, let me take the ink white. 78. I'm trying to check. Okay, there are two articles, right? Let's say article A and article B. Why A B? Let's say this is a soft toy worth rupees 10,000, and there is one more thing. Let's say there's a guitar. There's the other toy. Now, a soft toy costs 10,000 rupees, ridiculous, and a guitar costs 10,000 rupees, reasonable. Okay, and then he says on one you are selling these two. On one you got a profit of 20%. On one you got a profit of 20%. Yeah, and on the other there was a loss of 20%. Okay, what is the cost? I mean, what will be the I mean, this is the selling price, and this is the selling price. Now, clearly understand. He said he sold two articles. He sold two articles. Now, 20% is a profit. Okay, that means it is 20 by 100. All right, that means what selling price should actually be equals to 120, but it's not 120. It is 10,000. That means what do you understand from here? Okay, 120 is equivalent to 10,000. How much will the cost price be? How much will the 100 be? Right? This is your cost price, right? Find out what is 100 value. And similarly, in this case, loss percentage is 20%. That means what loss equals to what? 20 by 100. 20 by 100. That means what your selling price should actually be equals to 100 minus 20, which is 80. But it is not 80. He's saying it is not 80. 80 is 10,000. 80 is equal to 10,000. So how much is the 100 value here? You will find out the cost price in both the cases. Okay. And then see if it is an overall gain or profit. And then see it is overall gain or profit. Okay. Come on, check that. What is the cost price in the concept of option? This one, like for toy, the soft toy. Others, option D. Okay. 78. Do you want to comment over here? There's one more option D. Okay, let us check. Let us check. Let us check that. Option C says Devender and Tejasvi. Okay. Anyone else? What is the value? What is the cost price here? Very good, Pawan Kumar. Very good, Agnur Vaishnavi. What is the cost price that you got here? Okay. Ramu, 8,000. Are you sure, Ramu? Because I don't agree with that. Okay. Ritika, very good. You also go with option C. Vishnu says 25,000 by 3. Eh, is it not 8,500 or something? Okay, you're done it in a different way, Ramu. Okay. No, Ramu, again, you have to understand. You can't do it that way. ఎందుకంటే percentage అనేవి unidirectional మాత్రమే అంటే కాస్ట్ ప్రైస్ పైన నువ్వు like see you need to understand this. You need to get this very straight to your heads, students. When you're saying profit percentage, that means you're applying the profit on cost price. But when I say, okay, selling price is 10,000 and this one includes a profit of 20%, and you cannot say I'll remove 20% from this so that I get cost price. This cannot be true. I told you this one, kada. Here I told you, kada. ఇప్పుడు ఈ 100 అనేది నీ కాస్ట్ ప్రైస్ అయితే నువ్వు ఇంక్రిమెంట్ చేసినప్పుడు 120 రూపీస్ అనేది నీ సెల్లింగ్ ప్రైస్ అయింది. నౌ యూ ఆర్ సేయింగ్ నేను 20% తీసేసాను దగ్గరించి ఐ విల్ గెట్ ద కాస్ట్ ప్రైస్ అంటే యూ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ ద కాస్ట్ ప్రైస్. సీ ద డిఫరెన్స్. Please get that very straight here. The percentage, I mean, that's the strongest pillar. Okay. Yeah. Do it once again, Ram. Do it once again. Okay, Sumant. Say option C. Okay. Let's check that. Let's check that. Okay. Now, first things, I want you to find out what is the value here, or like, what do we want? We want to find out say his overall profit or loss percentage. His overall profit or loss percentage. So in this case, you got 8. All right. Let us not go into the. Okay. Sadik, वो decimal से कुछ आ रहा है क्या? नहीं तो ऐसा ही है value. उतना ही है. So it's not. It has nothing to do with the decimal things, right? Is the exact value you got. Fine. So similarly, in this case, what will happen? So 80 is 10,000. So how much will be 100? How much will 100 be? So this is plus 25%. Yeah. So I'll also add plus 25% to this one. Now this one will be how much? 12,500. Yeah. This will be 12,500. So now overall, if you see 8,330 and 12,500, what will be the total cost price? So you can say, what is the total cost price? Total cost price is like 20,830 or something. Okay. 20,830. Yeah. This is the total cost price. The total selling price is how much? 20,000 itself, because 10,000 each, right? 10,000 each an article. But if you take both the articles, it will be 20,000. Yeah, then you consider 8,334 or 333 is also fine. Any number is fine because we're going to get the closest answer. We'll not sit and calculate the exact value. It's not needed. Absolute value awesome manaki. So we'll just say 833 or 830 is fine. 833. Anyhow, we'll get like if we are not having an exact value, we'll get maybe 0.5 or 0.6 difference from the exact answer. It's okay. So now this is the difference. Now, what is this? The total cost price you got is 833. I mean, 20,833, and the selling price is 20,000 only. That means what? Did you get a gain or loss? Are you at gain or are you at loss? Obviously, you are at loss. How much is the loss now? 833 out of total cost price of how much? 20,833. Yeah, 20,833. Now, can you find out what is the loss percentage on this one? Please find out what is the loss percent on this one. So if you find it as a bit difficult to solve, try to put it somewhere close to 800. यहाँ पे 800 कर दो, यहाँ पे भी 800 कर दो. Calculate it. It's okay. You will get somewhere close answer, but you see the options. Options are not so close to each other. तो ऐसा कर लो. 800 by 20,800 you can do. You can do it in this way. So almost, how much are you getting? 0.4. That is 4%. Like, yeah, percentage you're trying to calculate, right? So you can just say into 100 for whatever it is. Into 100. So यहाँ पे 2 zeros, यहाँ पे 2 zeros, you can cut. And whatever it is, 52, 200, and almost close to 4, right? Almost close to 4. So it is 4% loss. Almost close to 4, it is 4% loss. Yeah, near to 4%. That's fine. Because why will we get 3.9 or 3.8? Because we did not absolute the values there. We did not take the absolute values. We just took the nearest values. And that is one way of looking at it, guys. That is one way of looking at this problem. Now, like, think of it in a different way. Let us say, what if the question said, now I'm saying, let us change, or let us take another version of this question. What if the question said, a man purchased. Now, guys, there's a second part of the question. Let us take it in the blue ink, okay? Different ink. Now, there is a second case in the question. Let us say the man purchased 2 articles at 10,000 each. That is, cost price of both the articles is 10,000 each. But he sold one at a loss of 20% and the other at a gain of 20%. Okay, now what is his total profit or total loss? Can you please calculate this part? Now, so far in this case, you had considered he sold it, right? So you took the selling prices. But now I'm saying, let us take another case in the same question, wherein a man purchased 2 articles. Guys, you need to understand one thing. Always, whenever there's a question coming towards us, we need to understand all the directions of that question. Like, we have to see that in every direction possible. You have to dissect it like anything, so that the concept goes into us. Okay, so the cost price is 10,000 each an article. The first one, how much did he sell for? 20% loss. Okay, this is 20% loss, or I'll write it as 20% loss. The other one is sold at 20% profit. So if he sells the first one at 20% loss, how much will be the selling price here? What will be the selling price? 20% loss tarvata 8,000. Very good. Now, if he is selling this article at 20% profit, so what will be the selling price here? What will be the selling price here? 12,000. Very good, others. 12,000. Now, what is the total selling price? 8,000 plus 12,000, 20,000 again. Now, what is the total cost price? 10,000 for each article, right? So to both the articles, it will be 20K. Now you see there is no profit, no gain. Now you see there is no profit, no gain. Now do you understand the differences between considering the selling price and the cost price? Do you understand the difference now? So this is the main thing that you need to get it into your heads. So Abhijab, whenever you get the question, first understand whether it is being sold, that is whether the selling price of the article is being considered or the cost price of the article is being considered. That needs to be very clear in your heads. Friends, now is it clear? Tejasvi, pro clear? Srija, Ardhamaindama? Clear with everyone? Very good. So that is what we're going to carry ahead. And remember, students, percentages are always what? What are the percentages always? What is percentage always? Please write it down. Unidirectional, unidirectional, unidirectional. Do not forget that. All right. The next question. The next question. A dishonest shopkeeper professes. Okay, let's say this is professes. I don't know why it is written. Professes to sell his goods at cost price. Okay, but he uses weight of 800 grams in place of 1 kg. Find his profit percentage. That's cheating, right? He's saying that he's going to sell at cost price itself. Selling price will be equal to cost price, he's saying. But instead of weighing for 1 kilo, he's weighing for 800 grams. That means what? So he says that, okay, let me tell you, okay, 1 kg of sugar, let's say 1 kg of sugar costs you 40 rupees. That means 1000 grams kata idi. 1000 grams will cost you 40 rupees, let's say. But instead of 1000 grams, he's selling 800 grams for 40 rupees. It's not always only the price variation that you should see for the profit. It's also based on what is the price calculated. That also can result in the either profit or loss. Okay, that means what? Instead of selling 100% of the good, he's only selling 80% of the good at the same cost. Right? Do you understand? Yes. So with this understanding, try and solve the question now. So see, this is a basic example I gave for you to understand. So let us say if 1000 grams is costing you 40, then how much should 800 grams cost you? 32 rupees, obviously. But he's saying that he's selling it at 40 rupees. So what is the profit? 8. Yeah. What is the profit? 8. And what is the cost price? Actually, it should have been 32. So what is it? 1 by 4. What is 1 by 4? 25%. Simple. But you need the understanding of, okay, how is the profit or the loss varying? So there are two cases. One, there can always be a variation in the price of the product that can result in either profit or the loss. Two, there can always be a variation in the terms of how the product is, how the price is calculated. Usually when it comes to weights, it's always calculated, okay, if I purchase 1 kg for 40 rupees and if I sell 1 kg for 50 rupees, then I can say, okay, I get a profit here. This is price variation. But if I'm saying, okay, I purchase 1 kg for 40 rupees, but I sell half kg for 30 rupees. Now, even this can get you to a profit because half kg you're selling at 30 rupees. That means what? 1 kg you will sell at how much? 60 rupees. Now you will see the price variation. You understand? You understand? Friends, are we all clear with this question? Anyone wants me to repeat anything? Calculation, concept, or any other thing? No? Very clear, Sadiq. Thank you for that. Let me just check if everyone answered, like the regular people answered. Very good, Srija. Thank you for that, Srija. Saim, thank you. Very good. Jagdish, very good. Welcome to the chat box, Jagdish. Tejas, we had answered. Sadek has got it already. Very good. Very good. So I hope this one is very clear to you. Yes, it's a simple one, but yeah, you need to get that. Okay. Chalo. The next question on your screens. A man buys an article for rupees 3,000 and sells to B at a gain of 10%. And B sells to C at a loss of 15%. Okay, and C sells to D at a profit of 20%. Now this is okay. So that's right. Look at it. How much does D pay for it? So now there are a lot of transactions happening. First transaction that happened is like a man buys an article for rupees 3,000. That is okay. There is one merchant from here. A man, someone, let's say he's A, he bought it for rupees 3,000. Okay, then he's saying that he sold it to B at a gain of 10%, 10% profit, and B sells it to C at a okay. B sells it to C at a loss of 15%. He lost it, loss of 15%. But then again, C does not keep the item. He's saying C sells it to D. C sells it to D at a profit of 20%. Again, there's a profit. Now, you want to find out how much should the D pay for it. You have to find out how much should the D pay for it. Okay, that's the whole question. Now, come on, please solve it. Just give me a minute. I am getting. Okay, just a call from the management. So, yep. What are we doing? Have you already started? Very good, Adarsh. That's a great active participation, Adarsh. Very good. Let me check. You've already answered a lot. Someone's camera is on. Would you please like to turn it off, or it's okay? It's okay. Don't panic. It's okay. It's fine. It happens. All right. Vinay, Vishnu, Srinivas, welcome to the chat box. Bharat, welcome to the chat box. Ganesh, welcome. Adarsh is killing it today. Okay, fine. Let us check. Very good, Ramna. Very good, Bhosle. Welcome. Keshwa, welcome. Sai Krishna, welcome to the chat box. Aparna, welcome. Guys, you're doing absolutely great. That's how you do it. Crazy. Very good. So first things first. Okay, 3,000, 10% of profit. So how much did A sell it for? 3,300. That is what B had to pay. And then B sold it at a loss of 15%. That is 3,300 minus 15%. Do you need pen and paper to solve percentages now? I don't think so. So what is 10% of this one? 3,300. How much will be 5%? Half of it exactly. That is what? 115. So 330 minus 115. Right? Yeah, without pen and paper, you can do it. So you're trying to find out the 15% of this. So 330 plus 330 plus 115. That is how much? 445. So 3,300 minus 445. What is the value? Are we not calculating 15%? Ramu? 10% ఎంత 330 కదా 5% ఎంత ఓకే 165 సారీ 5% 165 సో రెండు యాడ్ చేస్తే 330 plus 165 495 subtract 495 from this one. So how much are you going to get? Almost 500 subtracted, so 2,800 2,805. Yeah, 2,805. Yep, very good. And then C has to pay 2,805. And then a 20% profit here. 20% profit is what? 20% profit of 2,805. So 280.5 plus 280.5, like 20%. 10% is 280.5. So 20% will be 280.5 plus 280.5, 561. So you add 561 to it. So that is what D has to pay. So how much is the total value? 3,366. Yep, 3,366. Ramu, అది 2,805 కదా రాము. ఎట్లా అంటే ఇప్పుడు you are saying 3,300. Yeah. minus 495 అన్నాం కదా. సో కన్సిడర్ దిస్ టు బి 500 అనుకో ఫస్ట్ అయితే. సో 3300 minus 500 2800, ఇంకొక 5 తీసేసినాం కదా, అది కూడా యాడ్ చేసి 2805 అట్లా. రైట్ రైట్, వెరీ గుడ్ స్టూడెంట్స్, దాట్స్ గ్రేట్. I don't think like you will use pen and paper going ahead for percentages. Very clear, please be very clear with the calculation part. Only if you find, okay, if you find decimals or if you find complicated numbers అంటే మీకు అనిపిస్తే అప్పుడు మాత్రమే పెన్ అండ్ పేపర్ యూస్ చేయండి. అంతవరకు ట్రై టు యూస్ as much as your brains to do it. No pen paper, please. Okay, that is how you will train better for the calculations. All right, that's great. You are Ramu, you absolutely are better than before. You are very good. So the next one on your screens. An article is sold to rupees, no, sold at, it shouldn't be 2, sorry. An article is sold at rupees Y, it yields an X% of profit. Then the cost price of the article in rupees is what? Now, carefully understand, this is something we have already done. This is something you have already done. You are saying that selling price is some amount Y. And it says yielding. Yielding is always what? Like, okay, sorry, it is given clearly, yielding profit. So profit percentage is X%. Now, according to the concept of whatever we have said, profit percentage is equals to P by CP. That means here profit percentage X% should be equals to X by 100. That means what should be the selling price? 100 plus X. Sorry, what should be? Yeah, this should be the selling price. 100 plus X. Yeah, this should be the selling price. But it says selling price is Y. That means you are saying, okay, 100 plus X represents Y. What do you want? You want to find out what's the cost price. Then 100 is what? Yeah. So 100 Y divided by 100 plus X will be the cost price of the article. Yeah. Now, what are we trying to find out? What are we trying to find out? That the cost price of the article in rupees is what? Okay, wait, what are the options? We have 100 plus X into 100Y. 100Y. I think there should be a symbol here which is missing actually. మీకు ఇక్కడ సింబల్ ఉండాలనుకుంటా, ఇక్కడ మిస్ అయినట్టుంది. Yeah, there should have been a symbol over here. And I think here also there's a symbol. Even here there's a symbol which is missing. Even here there should be a symbol which is missing. Okay, I mean the division symbols are missing everywhere. But do you understand why did we come to this conclusion? Do you understand why did we write it this way? Okay, let me write as number 1 and here as number 2. See, the concept lies in point number 2. 78, very good. Jinna, very good. Concept lies in point number 2. Okay, I'll repeat it for students who are not asking me the question. See, remember one thing, students. Epudaina sare fractions, I'll talk about fractions here. I have to introduce fractions. I have to, because IT students who we have discussed percentage and fractions, but with EC, let me do it once again. See, for the fractions part, you need to understand something. Whenever you write A by B, it always means A parts of B. Okay, that means like if I write 3 by 5, that means 3 parts out of 5 you are considering. If you are writing 2 by 5, that means 2 out of 5 you are considering. So the point under consideration or the value under consideration is always put into the numerator, and value or the total value is always put into the denominator. That is the basic understanding of a fraction. So even in this case, when you're saying percentage, P%, I'm saying P by CP into 100. And I know that this particular fraction, P by CP is what? P times P is the profit, right? So profit over CP is what you're trying to consider. Profit over cost price all the time. Fine. So whenever I say, okay, 3 by 100, it is 3%, 3 by 100. That means what? 3 rupees is a profit over 100 rupees. That means selling price is how much? 103. Simple. Simple that is. Similarly, in this case, the profit was X%. That means X by 100. So simply cost price is how much? 100 plus X. Now, if you ask me, sir, cost price, I mean, selling price 100 plus X, is that the absolute value? No, it is not the absolute value. That is a value that you can scale. It can, as I said earlier, the selling price, it could be like 1 time of whatever it is, now 100 plus X, or it could be 1.5 times of that, or it could be 0.5 times of that, it could be 2 times of that, but it will definitely be a multiple of 100 plus X only. This concept. Okay. Now, whenever you have such a fraction of the percentage over, I mean, percentage of either profit or loss, you have to always like, I mean, not have to, but it is better if you think of it in this way. If you think of it in this way, either in this way or like, and continue it in this way. Students, are you all with me? Are you all understanding what I'm trying to put it on the screen? అర్థమవుతుందా అందరికీ? సమझ में आ रहा है क्या सभी लोगों को? Any questions you have for me? Anything you want to ask? Great, students. Absolutely great. Very good. I'm liking to have these sessions with you all. You are doing absolutely great. Very good, students. Very good. So the next one on your screens. But why cross multiply? Okay, let me just tell you. But why cross multiply? So there are multiple ways. Students, just give us 1 more minute. Let us take 1 more minute and understand why cross multiplication. So whenever you are saying that, okay, 100 plus X represents Y, and 100, then, okay, it's not and. It says if 100 plus X represents Y, then 100 represents what? Is the whole thing. Is the whole thing, right? So if you understand it very carefully, that means what? This 100 plus X has turned into Y with some factor here. There is some multiplication factor over here. Okay, now you want to find out the same multiplication factor for which 100 has turned into y. It could be multiplication factor or division factor, whatever it is. Why I write multiplication? Because I can also say multiplied by 1 by 10, like that. So I say only multiplication factor. So there is a multiplication factor which will turn it into something else here. So let us say, okay, there is some number which represents that part. So it's like, let us say this multiplication factor as some a, okay, some a, and this is value b. This is value b. So according to this part, please observe here, Ramu and also others. Like, I don't know if you ever asked this question to yourself. Why is that always you have to cross multiply? There should be some reason, right? So the reason is you say that, okay, 100 plus x when you multiply with a will be equals to y. Similarly, there should be some value 100a which should be equals to b. Now you want the value of b there. You want the value of b, but you know that in both of these only one term is common, which is a there. So a will be equals to y by 100 plus x in this case, and in this case a will be equals to b by 100. Now in both the cases multiplication factor is equal. Now you're equating these two. Y by 100 plus x is equals to b by 100. Now what value do you want? You want the value of b, right? So then b will be equals to what? It goes in this way. So 100y by 100 plus x. Now you got the value of b here. That is the reason you cross multiply. Cross multiplication has just not arrived like that. So there's a reason why it happens. Okay. Now do you understand why from 4th standard you were told like do cross multiplication, but no one told you why cross multiplication? Now is it clear? Yeah. So everything lies in the concept, students. Everything lies in the basics. So let's go to the next question. Next question. Next question. Okay, a trader allows a discount of 15% on the marked price of an article. Now we come to one more concept, which is called marked price. How much percentage above the cost price is to be marked to make a profit of 19%? Now, that's a very specific question. It says clearly not 15, not 20, exactly the 19% profit it needs. So, and I think we have already discussed about the concept of marked price. Okay, let me draw a scale and just represent the marked price here. So this is something cost price. Somewhere here you have the selling price, but somewhere here you have the marked price. So the discount is always, I mean, if mentioned, discount is always on the marked price. So here you will have the discount so that you will either arrive at the previous selling price or you will arrive at the new selling price. Now this will be a selling price. Okay, fine. That's the concept of marked price. But for this problem, discount is how much? Okay, discount is 15%. Marked price, you don't know what's the value of the marked price. How much percentage above the cost price is to be marked to make a profit of 90%? You have the profit percentage as 19%. Okay. Now the question says how much percentage above the cost. That means what he's asking from here to here. What is the percentage increment? That's what he's asking. Very good, Yamini. Very good, Tejasvi. That was really quick. Now both of those chose the options as A. Let us see who else has got the same answer. Very good, Yamini. That was really quick. Even you have been a very valuable contributor to the chat box, I should say. Both Yamini and Tejasvi and all the others. Very good. Fine. That's very good. So Yamini, you are okay with calculating in terms of decimals? Like you are okay with calculating in terms of decimals? You have no difficulties, right? Or you want something that works without the decimals also? Like a new understanding or a new way of doing it. Maybe the decimals calculation might become difficult going ahead. Okay, without decimal also you can do it. Very good. Very good. So now, if you ask me, I'll go back to the concept that we just discussed in the previous slide because it will make the foundation strong. So according to us, what is the profit percentage? Profit by cost price, that is 19 by 100. Then how much should the selling price be? Selling price should be 119. This is the selling price. But now selling price 119 is not the actual price which is marked, but this one is after a discount of 15%. How is discount calculated always? Discount is calculated for the marked price, right? Discount by marked price. That means what? 15 by 100. That means what? How much should the marked price be? How much should the selling price be here? Selling price is what? Market price minus discount kada. So how much should the selling price be then? 85. Do you all agree to this point? Do you all agree to this point? Selling price should be 85. Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Selling price is always what? Market price minus discount, no? Students, you all agree with this point? Selling price 85. Yes, no. Okay, do you want me to repeat it once? Shall I repeat that? Yeah, Mini. Yes, we can do that. Understood, Harshita? Very good. Thank you. So now that means what? The selling price, whatever you have got, it is the 85% only. The selling price, whatever you have got, is the 85%, the value. But the cost price, I mean, that is the 85%. That means what? 85% value is 119. But what are you trying to find out? You're trying to find out the 100%, which is the cost price. So what will be the 100%? That's the question now. 85% is 119. What is 100%? That is the question. So how much it will be? So 119 into 100 by 85. If you calculate this, I think you will come to a conclusion, I guess. Is 119 a prime number? Yeah, 119 is a prime number, right? So this will be what? 17, 20. Is it a prime number? 17? No, it's not. 17 into 7, I guess. It's not a prime number. 140. So it actually had to be 100. Okay. It actually this 100% is 140. 100% is 140. But you considered that cost price is what? 100, right? Cost price is 100. Then the selling price that you received is 140. Now what is the total profit? What is the profit percentage? 40%. Yeah, right? Now, did you understand this way of solution, Yamini? Very good, Yamini. Yamini had Yamini. Let me write what the equation that you mentioned. It might also help others, no? Okay. Yamini gave us an equation. So mark the price by cost price is equals to 100 plus gain percentage into 100 minus. Is that multiplication itself? Discount percentage. Yamini, did I write it right? I mean, did I note it down correctly? Mark price plus cost price. All right, fine. So this also you can try, students. Now, how did you come to this equation? If you ask, how did she come to a conclusion of this equation? Please try to interchange the values over there, and you will see how did she come to a conclusion on that equation. Okay, just try to interchange the things over there, and you will find how did she come to a conclusion there. Okay, fine. Then I hope you understood it in both the ways. Did you understand in both the ways? Okay, this one you can try, and even this one you can try. Did you understand this way? Why did we consider the 85% over there? Very good, Srija. Thank you for that. Thank you, Sadik. Ramu, what about you? Vishnu, what about you? Ardhamainda, Niku? Any questions you have, Vishnu? And 78, did you understand? 78, you still did not name yourself. Okay, fine. Okay, let me just check. Okay, I guess Vaishnavi, you had already put up an answer for this, kada? I'm just checking, man. All right, great. Chalo. Next question on your screens right now. Okay. I purchased 120 books at the rate of rupees 3 each and sold 1/3 of them at the rate of 4 each and half of them at the rate of 5 rupees each and rest at the cost price. My profit was what? Now, that's a very, very straight question. Straight question. So please try and solve it. I'll just write the numerical details on the screen so that it gets you going, and then you can carry on. So cost price of each book. You don't need to write any of these on your solution paper. It's not needed. It's just for your understanding that I'm writing over here, just for your clarity. Okay, 120. Okay, 1/3 of the books. So 1/3 of 120, that is 40, were sold at rupees 4 each. Okay, and then half of it, that is 60, were sold at what? 5 rupees each. And then the remaining, how many are remaining? 60 plus 40 are done, 100 are done, 20. So 20 are sold at 3 rupees each. Now this is the information given in the question. Yeah, direct calculation. This is the information given in the question. Very good, very good. Option B, very good. Most of you have gone with option B. Very good, Yamini. Very good. Very good, Adarsh. Very good, Srija. Vinay, welcome to the chat box. Welcome to the chat box, Vidya Sagar Rao. Very good, students. So like this is the simplest it can get. So 160 rupees here and 300 here and 60 rupees here. 360 plus 60, 420 plus 100, 520. So he bought it at 360 rupees, sold it for 520 rupees. Yeah. 520 is it? Okay, very good, Vishnu. 60, 160, 460, 60, 520. So the total profit is how much? 160 by 360. So 4 by 9. Yeah. It will be 4 by 9. 580 here. Is it 580, Sadik? 520 itself होगा. Yeah. Sadik, एक बार calculation check कर लो. Yeah. Then yeah, 4 by 9. 4 by 9 as a fraction. All right. I want you to once remember the fractions and percentages again. Sorry if I am creating something in your head every time I'm bringing fractions and percentages. So 1 by 9 percentage is 1 by 9 as a fraction is always equals to 11.11 percentage. Okay. So 2 by 9 is always equals to 22.22 percentage. 3 by 9 is 33.33. Similarly, 4 by 9 is 44.44. So you don't have to sit and calculate what is the value after getting this one. This is a part of fractions and percentage that you always have to remember. नहीं 160 plus 120 क्यों कर रहे हो? एक 120 नहीं है ना? 160, 300 and then 60. ये तीन को ऐड करो सादिक. ये 120 तो number of books के बारे में है ये. No, this is where he sells it. Okay, so that is the percentage and fractions. Okay, now Vishnu has a question. So why can't we consider 1/3 equals to 40 from 80? Half is 40. Okay, all right, fine. So you're saying half of them, when it says why shouldn't we consider after 40 years old there are only 80 left, then we have to consider half of 80. That's your question, right, Vishnu? Now if the question read half of the remaining, half of the remaining, if the question said or used a word said saying half of the remaining, then whatever you said can become true. Like, okay, already 40 years old, then there are 80 left, so out of this 80 half of sold, so this way. Okay, but there is no word used for the remaining Anjapi. So if at all there's a word used remaining, then you can say yes, sir, that is how it should be done, Mani. That's a very good observation, Vishnu. Good observation. So others also, whenever, please observe the question for the word remaining. Okay, it will somewhere be hidden in the words, and we might fail to see that at times. Okay, but I hope you understood this one. I'll go on to the next question now. The next question: I sold a watch at a loss of 20%. Had it been sold for rupees 40 more, I would have gained 5%. I 5% I purchased it for. Now what do you want? Now what does the question want? Okay, let us see. Can we find out the cost price from here? Yes. Can we find out the selling price from here? Maybe. Let us find out both the cost price and the selling price. We don't know. I mean, I don't know why the question is half written over there, but yeah, let us do both of them. So he sold a watch at a loss of 20%. Loss is 20%. Right. He's saying had it been sold, okay, let us take a scale. I'll show you with a scale. Now there is some cost, some cost price, some selling price. Cost price I'll take it on the left hand side. Selling price I'll take it on the right hand side. Okay. So okay, fine, not on the left hand side. Let us say somewhere here is a cost price. He sold it at a loss of 20%. Somewhere here he sold it, not even here. Let us remove this. He sold it at somewhere here. Now this is 20% loss. Now he's saying, had it been sold for 40 rupees more, I would have gained 5%. So from here, he's saying that if I sold it for 40 rupees more, if I sold it for 40 rupees more, I would have gained 5%. He's saying he would have gained 5%. Yeah. I purchased it for more than whatever. No. I think it should have been written in such a way that okay. Had it been sold for rupees 40 more, I would have gained 5%. I purchased it for. Okay, there can be two understandings over here. One, that okay, 40 rupees is more than what he sold earlier. Or second understanding is that 40 rupees more than the cost price. There can be two understandings here because the question is very unclear for me. The statements are very unclear for me. This could be the case. So let us again consider two cases for this. Okay, case A, 40 rupees more than current selling price. Okay, that is case A. And case B, 40 rupees more than cost price of the article. Now there are two cases, students. Let us consider both the cases. Now the question must have been right on the exam paper, but while just getting it translated onto the slides, maybe there would have been spelling mistakes by someone. So it's okay, fine. But let us take both the cases. Case A, where it is 40 rupees more than the current selling price. Case B, it is 40 rupees more than the current cost price. And what are you trying to find out? You're trying to find out both the cost price and the selling price, right? Here also you're going to find out both the cost price and the selling price. Please try and solve it now. Yeah, I need both the answers. Now consider both the cases, case A, case B. Consider both the cases. All right, we already had a few answers here. Vidyasagar Rao, very good. You went with option C, 160. What is that, Vidyasagar? Is that cost price or is it the selling price? Yamini, again 160. Is it cost price or the selling price? Adarsh, what is it? Sadik, what is it? I sold a watch at 20%. If I had sold it for 40 more, I would have gained made a 5% profit. 5% profit. What was the original purchase price? Okay. Or it could have been like this. Yeah, it says okay, gain 5%. There is a pause here. I purchased it for. That's the question. Okay, that's the cost price. Yeah, Adarsh. Maybe that should be the right thing. Yeah. Okay. Case A. Did you all consider it as case A or case B? What was your consideration when you solved it? Tell me, what case did you consider? Is it case A or case B? Like 40 rupees more than the current selling price or 40 rupees more than the cost price? What is the value that you considered? What is the case that you considered? Others, what was the case that you considered? सादिक, आपने कौन सा case use किया? Yamini, 40 rupees more than what? More than current selling price or 40 rupees more than the current cost price? Case A, Krishna. So if you consider it as case A, that means what? 40 rupees is costing you 20% loss. I mean, it will cover 20% loss and also will gain you 5% profit. So overall, 40 rupees will represent 25% of the whole. So if 40 rupees is 25%, then obviously 100 rupees is how much? I mean, sorry, then 100% is how much? Into 4, right? So into 4, 160 rupees. If you do it in this way, it is this. Fine. That also you can do, others. Yeah, true. Just try and we can also verify it with the options. We can do the option verification and do it. Yeah, that also can give us or conclude us what can be the right answer. So according to us, what was the answer? We said it was 160, right? Let us verify with 160 itself. So what is it now? The 160 is the cost price. 160 is the cost price now. If it had been sold at 20% loss, then selling price would be what? 160 minus 32. What is 160 minus 32? What is 160 minus 32? It will be 128. The selling price is 128. Now it says had it been sold for 40 rupees more. So 40 rupees more, if I sell it for it will be 168. 10% is 16, so 5% will be 8. Yeah, true. 160, that way you can get it. Yes. Thank you, others, for giving that hint there. Okay, thank you for this one. So yeah, option verification is working, right? So on the selling price, you're adding 40 rupees, which is giving you a 5% profit. Now the profit here, if you see, it is 8 rupees, and 8 rupees is 5% of 160. That is true. Thank you, others, for clearing the air. Now there is only solution. There is no other solution. There is no other case. This is the only case to consider. Very good. So thank you. Do not worry. Next question, students. A shopkeeper had calculated the profit percentage on selling price and announced it as 40%. His actual profit is what? Now comes this part. So earlier we were trying to discuss profit percentage is always on cost price, that is P by CP. But until when? Until the question clearly tells it is on the selling price. Here is a case. So here the case is profit percentage is P by SP, it seems. So he's saying profit percentage is 40. That means 40 by what? 40 by 100, 40%. That is 40 by 100. That means if the selling price is 100, okay, if whatever the selling price is 100, then the profit is 40. Then the profit is 40. But if this is the way, then what is the cost price then? What is the cost price then? Cost price is how much? 60, right? If selling price is 100, profit is 40, then what is the cost price? Cost price is 60. Now, wait. No. Okay, if selling price is 100, the profit is 40, then the actual selling price according to the person, according to whatever the merchant, then the total price that he has sold it for will be what? 140. Cost price will be how much here? Cost price will be 60. Now, if the cost price is 60 and the selling price is 100, the cost price is 60 and the selling price is 100. Now you're checking out what is the profit percentage. Now profit percentage is P by CP. That is, what is the profit here? 40. 40 by what is the cost price? 60. Then what is the profit percentage? What is the profit percentage? 2 by 3. That is what? 66. 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is what? 2 by 3 is always 66.6%, which you can represent also as 66 2 by 3. No, it will not be 40%. How will it be 40%? Tejasvi. So not Tejasvi. Someone answered 40%. It will not be 40, Ramu. See, ఇక్కడ thing ఏంటి అంటే the profit percentage is calculated on SP, on the selling price. You know that the selling price is 100 and he's telling that the profit is 40. But if that profit is 40, then cost price will be how much? If the selling price is 100, selling price minus profit, that is 60. Okay, ఒకవేళ 60 అయితే, if the cost price is 60, then the selling price is 100. This is what it should be. Then the actual profit is always calculated on the profit percentage. I mean on the cost price. So profit by cost price, that is 40 by 60, which will result in 2 by 3, which is 66.6%. Okay, that's the way to do it, this question. So 66 2 by 3% is the answer. But with the previous question, I'm not satisfied with the solution. I'll definitely come up with a new solution for that. Do not worry. Okay, you also did the option verification and came to a conclusion. Okay, fine. But still, let me repeat it once again. So 20 rupees change, students, please observe, 20 rupees of change is causing 20% increment in the loss. Increment in the loss అంటే ఏంటి? ఇంతకుముందు ఒకవేళ 100 ఉంటే లాస్, ఇప్పుడు అది 120% అయింది. ప్లీజ్ అండర్స్టాండ్. ఇంతకుముందు 100 ఉంటే ఇప్పుడు 120% అయింది. ఇప్పుడు 120 అయింది. అంటే ఇంతకుముందు 20 ఉంటే ఇప్పుడు దీనికి 120 ఏమవుతుంది? 24. ఇంతకుముందు 40 ఉంటే దీనికి 120 ఏమవుతుంది? 48. This way. It has increased in this way. Now, that means what? For every 100, if I have to calculate the 100%, then it will be what? 100 rupees. That means what is the 100 here? 100 is a total loss. This 100 rupees is a total loss. Okay. Now, we have the selling price already. Loss equals to 100 rupees. We have the selling price already. Selling price is how much? 400. ఇంతకుముందు selling price is 400. Okay. ఇంతకుముందు 100 selling price 400 కాబట్టి now I have to find out the cost price, which is nothing but selling price plus loss. That is 400 plus 100. ఇది అర్థమైందా? ఇది అర్థమైందా అందరికి? Did you understand this part on this side of the screen? I'll number this as what? 4. Vishnu? Not yet completely, Ramu, but okay it is. So Vishnu, ఒక విషయం కదా, 20 rupees reduction from 400 to 380 is causing how much? Increment of loss by 20%. Increment of loss by 20%. అంటే ఇంతకుముందు లాస్ ఒకవేళ 100% అయితే ఇప్పుడు అది 120%. As I told you in the percentage part, every number is 100% of itself. అంటే 1 is 100% of itself, 10 is 100% of itself, 29 is 100% of itself అన్నాం కదా. అట్లనే ఇక్కడ ఒక లాస్ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఆ లాస్ కి ఇంకా 20% ఇంక్రిమెంట్ అయింది. For example, if the loss was 40 earlier, now 20% increment of this happened. 10% is 4, 20% is 80. So 40 got increased to 48. ఇది అర్థమైందా? ఈ పార్ట్ అర్థమైందా విష్ణు? Till here clear? Question, I'm just trying to give you the question, not the solution. So 20 rupees increment will cause you 20% of change in the loss percentage. That means what, నాకు 100% కావాలి అంటే I want to find out what is the total actual loss. 100% of this will represent the total loss. So loss is how much? 100 rupees. ఎందుకు? 20% is 20, 100% will obviously be 100. So total loss is 100 rupees. Total loss you found out, and you also know from the question that the selling price is given as 400. So selling price is given, loss you have. Both of this if you include, you'll get the cost price 500. Is that okay? Vishnu, కొంచెం అర్థమైందా? Yeah. All right. So with that, I think we are done for today's session. It is 11 already. You need to take a break. You have already surpassed 5 minutes. So just tell the next trainer, whoever is coming, that you're going to start 5 minutes late because you had ended the session 5 minutes delay. So with that note, yes, I remember I have one question to answer it in a very easier way, not the way that we had done. I'll do it for sure. And I hope, yeah, the target question, I have it in the mind, others. I'll make it happen somehow and I'll give you a proper solution by tomorrow. All right. And that's it for now from my side. I hope you learned something new. I hope we had encountered few exciting questions. That's it from my side. With that note, I'll be closing the session for now. With that note, I'll be closing the session.